don't forget to like and subscribe. Now please enjoy the video. Hello everybody, welcome back to another one of my videos. Today we'll be reviewing the Transformers Age of the Primes, the 13 Star Optimus Prime. Now taking a look at him, you could kind of see the, excuse me, sorry. I have allergies. Now, taking a look at him, you can see the detail, the design detail. He looks like the Japanese Transformer version because this guy originally came from the Japanese comics. And another thing that I want to point out is that he looks very clean in the back. And you can kind of see the trailer right here. Yeah, so taking a look at him, he is a pretty big figure. I know there's bigger figures like HasLab Unicron and things like that, but he's so far my biggest figure. One thing that I wish that Hasbro could have done is instead of having his horns like straight up, wish they could have just like extended them out a bit to make him look a bit cooler. But for the sake of the video, I'll just keep him like this. Let's take a look at his chest. Yeah, you can see the detail, the nice like detail. You can see the truck. And then let's take a look down at his legs. He looks very cool, very nice detail, and one thing that I do want to point out is that he does have blast effect ports on his legs. Isn't that cool? So yeah. And another thing that I want to point out is that this is a pack that comes with lots of accessories. And this is my first pack that comes with these specific types of blast effects, because it does have the circle that can be added into like Transformers, specific Transformer holes. So yeah, it comes with 2 Jetfire blast effects. It comes with an Omega Supreme blast effect, and it also comes with it comes with 2 additional Omega Supreme blast effects, or the tops. It also comes with a turret, and it also comes with its own special Star Optimus Prime blast effect, and you can add this on top of here to make it into like a laser sword of some sort. And then it also comes with a gun that can also add the this on top of there. And one thing that is cool is that if you turn it around, you can see that it comes with an energon bullet that is removable. So let me just get it out. So yeah, it's a nice little energon bullet right there. Yes, and I don't recommend taking it out back and forward, taking it out and then putting it back in, take it out and putting it back in, because if you keep doing that back and forward, you could actually probably like grind it and break the energon bullet and probably a little bit of the gun itself. But yeah, there it is. There's also these types of blast effects that I have. They can be used for it can be used for this character too. It's just these are more efficient when it comes to more Transformers than it is with these. But yeah, it is blast effect compatible up here. So as I've seen the instructions, oops, the Jetfire came apart. As you can see right here, the blast effect goes right here. The Jetfire blast effects go on his shoulder cants. And then he does have some pretty tight ratchets, some very loud and pretty tight ratchets. Let's give him his gun. So let's scoot him back a bit. Yeah, you can see his gun right there. And then his gun is compatible with the blast effects too. You see right there. So yeah, that's cool. That's pretty cool. Let's take a look at the back side of the legs. Let's go down. So yeah, taking a look at the legs, they look pretty cool. You can see the treads that will come apart, or they will become a part of both alt modes. They can be removable because when you look at them from the sides, it looks cleaner without them on than when you have them on, because it kind of looks a bit thick for this thigh to carry. So yeah, you can kind of see the even out it has. I do not recommend taking these back and forward apart because the connection ports are a bit unstable when you take them back and forward. And yeah, now let's take off his guns, and let's go down to the ground because I have some more characters that I want to show you. Alright everybody, so as you can see right here, I brought the camera downwards to the little floor over here. And right here, you can see there's the trailer, the truck and trailer, MT-13. And if you like this, you can always just take off the head, or well, let's first take a look at him. So as you can see right here, you can see the Autobot logo, the little yellow lines, and as you can kind of hear inside. You can kind of hear inside. There's something inside of him, and there is something inside of him. But taking a look at, I'll show you that in a little bit. So yeah, taking a look at the wheels. These are movable, nice movable wheels that give him some nice traction to move around. And let me show you how to transform it into base mode. So what you want to do is you want to pull off the head. Let's move this to the side. Keep it somewhere where you can have it in your hand because you will need it in a second. You want to pull this out. Sometimes you want, what you want to do is you want to pull it out, and it should flip out. So mine just like when I pull it out, it just like comes apart like that. But I think that would happen to like almost every other Star Optimus Prime that is out there. But yeah, that's kind of what happens when you do that. Yeah, because the connection that keeps the guns in there. But yeah, what you want to do is you want to flip it outwards, and then what you want to bring this back. You want to add this to the front where the head of the truck was, and then what you want to do is you want to bring your gun, and you want to pull it out like this. You want to pull out the turrets. So I know that the Star Optimus Prime could hold this turret like this, but you can use it for the MT-13 base mode, and you want to just pull the trigger downwards. You want to add it on the opposite side, and then now you have it in base mode. Now these are blast effect compatible, so let me bring some blast effects. And since it is a thin blast effect, you can add both on there, which is a cool feature. You can't do that for this one, but it's kind of cool. So yeah, and then what you want to do, you want to come to the back of this trailer, and you want to open it. And then to find little Micromaster Hot Rod in there. So yeah, I just kind of put him in there. He doesn't actually come out like this in the packaging, but let me show you. So what you want to do to make Hot Rod transform, actually hold on, before we get into that, let me just show you him, so you can see it looks pretty clean at the bottom. Looks very cool at the top. This isn't just like some War for Cybertron one. It's a bit wider than a normal War for Cybertron Micromaster would be. So yeah, but anyways, getting into the transformation, what you want to do is you want to grab this front part. You want to pull it down until it snaps into place. You can see the top of Hot Rod. And then what you want to do, you want to pull out this. You want to pull this out. Excuse me, allergies. Sorry, allergies. So what you want to do is you want to pull out the leg, and you want to pull it out. So like it's like this, and then pull it like this, and then you want to pull down this to resemble some feet. And that is the transformation of Hot Rod. Now, taking a look at him, you can see he kind of looks like the Micromaster Hot Rod from the comic books that he's been in. But yeah, he does have his little flame smokestacks that he has. He looks pretty decent. He doesn't have any feet though, which is kind of weird, but it's a little funny to me that he doesn't have any feet. But he is on ball joints, mainly ball joints. I see why, because he's such a small figure. But yeah, he's a very small figure. He does fit in the MT-13, which is cool. But yeah, so taking a look at his articulation, let's go around. You can do a full 360 with his arm. His elbows can do this, and they can also go around since they're on ball joints. Going down to the legs, he has no feet, no toes. He can do this. He can't move his thigh around, but he can move his legs back and forward and outwards. And yeah, that's pretty much all the articulation, and let's do a little size comparison, shall we? Alright, so now that I've moved everything, now we can start the, we can start the size comparison. So let's take a look at him when he's comparing size next to, Superion. So yeah, he's about the same height as the leg, sort of. And then let's take a size comparison when he's standing next to Topspin. Yeah, Topspin. Kind of see he's kind of small. Well, he's Micromaster, so makes sense. And standing next to Vortex. Yeah, he's not the biggest figure, but he is a pretty cool little gimmick feature. And let's do one last size comparison. Freeze out. Yeah, freeze out's like about the size of his leg. Yeah. So yeah, there's the size comparison for Hot Rod. Now that we have done a size comparison for Hot Rod and a articulation check for Hot Rod, let's do the same for our Titan class Star Optimus. So his arms can do the same thing. He can go around. Very, very loud ratchets. His head does move around, unlike Hot Rod's. It can go full around, and it can't tilt side to side, but it can look down due to the transformation. And if you want, you can look down like this. I don't know why anybody would want to break the neck like that, but he can't do that. His elbows can be moved up, and they can be moved back due to transformation purposes. He does have a little bit of opposable fingers type. He does have some wrist rotation. He can. He does have a waist swivel that can go around fully. And I think about like every joint, or almost every joint on this guy, has a ratchet, because some joints do not. Yeah, so let's go down. Alright, now that we're down, he does have an ankle that goes out like about this far. He does have the movable thighs. I actually expected him to be heavier than he is, because I know that there's some other Titan class figures that are heavier, and well, they're, like heavy. But anyways, he does have a knee joint, which is kind of hard to move the knee. Yeah, but he does have a knee joint. I think that's how far it goes, because I don't want to test this to the limits because of how expensive this is. Let's bring him up a bit. His legs can go outwards. They can go inwards. They can go back. They can go forward and back. And as you just saw right now, he just kicked the camera. And yeah, so that's his articulations. I think that's all I got. Yeah, so there you have it, and let's do a size comparison, shall we? So let's have him standing next to the Transformers Age of the Prime Superion. Yeah, he's a pretty much bigger than Superion. Let's go down to, because these other two figures. Vortex, have him standing next to Vortex. Yeah, it's pretty big, honestly. Sorry everybody. Allergies have been high and heavy where I live, because, allergies. Standing next to Topspin. Oh gosh, I don't know what's going on with me. Sorry for the inconvenience, everybody. And that's having him stand next to a Headmaster. Freeze out. You can see down there how much bigger he is. And I've actually found out that Headmasters are actually, if Transformers were real, a Headmaster would have to be the size of a 6-foot tall man. So imagine this is you compared to this. I know it's big, right? So yeah, grab that. And yeah, so that's about it. And I guess we can get into the transformation for this guy. Yeah, shall we? Yeah, let's get into the transformation for this guy. Alright, everybody, so now that we have everything in order and in place, now we can get into the transformation. So let's get MT13 and let's just store him into the back. Let's store Hot Rod into the back. And then close that, and let's drive them out of here. Alright, so now what we can do is we can get into the transformation of Star Optimus. Now, he does start off a little confusing, but before we get into that, I just want to show you a little cool feature that he does have. So you can open his chest, you can open this, and to find it inside, you can find his artifact, the Zodiac, which is kind of a small artifact for a big figure to hold. But yeah, other than that, the artifact the Zodiac is a pretty powerful artifact. But yeah, collect all the artifacts because Hasbro said that you could make something out of the artifacts. So yeah, let's get straight into the transformation for this guy. So yeah, let's take a look down at this. So what you want to do is you want to come over. Yeah, there you go. What you want to do is you want to come over. You want to open this little hatch, and you want to do the same for both sides. So yeah, you should feel like a little hatch that opens. What you want to do is you want to push inwards the hands, and this is where it gets a little complicated. So what you want to do is you want to flip the hands like this, and then just push it forward once you have it fully flipped over. So let me give you a back view of that. So you want to flip it like this, and then it should just adjust itself into place. Yeah, you want to mess with it a bit, not too much, but you do want to mess with it a little bit. Once you have that completed, you want to close these two, and then you want to bring this. You want to bring the forearms up, and you can kind of see the front of the truck. Then you want to go up to the shoulder cannons. You want to move it around. You want to move this around, and then bam, you have both. You have both of the cannons. And then what you want to do is that you want to come to the front over here. To the front. Get this guy moving. Now what you want to do is you want to move up. You want to move this up. And then you want to move this arm up. And then once you have both arms moved up, you want to fold the shoulders where it has the Autobot insignia upwards. So let me give you a top view of that. So what you want to do is you want to flip this upwards and do the exact same for the other side, and then bam. So once you have that done, you can you can kind of see it looks a little flat and equal. Sorry, something got stuck. All right, so then the next thing what you're gonna do is you want to move this. Where you want to pull down the chest, you want to move out this, and you want to move out this other one, and you can see the wheels for the truck boat. Then what you want to do is you want to move in the head, and then you can just snap it in there. There you go. Careful because the head does move downwards due to transformation purposes. And you should just push down on this right here, so it gets into place correctly, and so it doesn't fall out or something. Okay, so once you have that done, you want to end up bringing this. Now, I don't want you to use the ratchets that it has, so just lift it upwards, right? And then once you have it lifted upwards, you want to close in the hatch before you move the arms together completely. And before you close the hatch completely, you want to just move out these, and then once you have this in, then you can close the arms together, and then you can that's the top of the truck right there. And then what you want to do is you want to have these things right here. You want to pull that up. You want to grab it under here and then pull this flap up. And then once you have those flaps up, you want to end up moving them towards the sides, and this should snap in. Not necessarily snap, but like just connect into a port. And yeah, so let's go to the back of this. And what you want to do is you want to pull this down. You want to pull this outwards. And I do not recommend pulling it outwards like this, but if you have to, then you have to. And yeah, so you want to have it just like stuck like this for a second. Want to move it around, like twist it around. And let's go to the front. Twist it around until it's like aligned evenly. Then just fold this inwards. And yeah, so you should have it like that. And yeah, so it should pretty much just click into place as it should. So then what you want to do is you want to bring your attention down to the legs. You want to move it up. You want to move this up. So it's like a double joint. So let me show you specifically. So move this upwards, and then you should have another joint. Pull that like this, and then have it folded like this until it's like this. And you can kind of see how it is, how it's supposed to be actually. And then what you want to do is you want to have it facing down like this words. And then what you want to do is you want to push these inwards. And then it does have a little bit of clicking process that it needs to be done. So as you can see right here, the treads need to connect with each other completely. I want to connect those together. And then what you want to do, you want to connect the front and make sure you just want to compress it together nicely and done. And once you have it compressed completely, you can open the shins. And there you go. Open the shins. And before I get into the rest of the transformation, I forgot to mention, because I am very forgetful of things, that you can actually store MT13 inside of here. But one thing that I've seen a video where this guy like gives information, and he really gives a good chunk of information why you should not do that. Because one, you get it's a struggle to get it inside the shin. Two, it's a struggle to close the shin properly. And then three, it's also a struggle to get it out. And when I did do it before I saw the video, I did feel like the toy itself was kind of like pulling apart due to these. But another thing is that you can add the top of the sword into one of these holes. And I only use these shins for like putting blast effects in there, but they don't always fit. So yeah, I did not show you guys that because of that specific reason, but now that I'm telling you it now, I just wanted to give you guys a little warning on why not to do that. But yeah, once you have like opened the shins, you can pull the skirt down, the skirt pleat. Let me just lift this up. You want to pull down this, and then it should look like this. And then what you want to do is you want to end up closing in the shins, and there are some connection pieces like right here and right here that should go into these holes, and then they should just end up closing together. So yeah, now that's closed on, it should be stable together enough. And then another thing is that you want to end up closing these, and they should just like snap in there. It should be nice and tight in there. And then you want to end up bringing your truck, and you just want to pull it down. Don't let it fall, just pull it downwards. And then what you want to do is you want to pull down these. You want to pull down the feet. And then now you have Star Optimus Prime transformed into a truck mode. Now, taking a look at him, you can see he actually he has lots of his G1 detail, and he looks pretty cool and things like that. The truck does look a little determined for something due to the forehead that it has. But yeah, one thing that I wish they could have done is that, like, if this, I mean, they don't have to use this piece exactly, but like if they could like have this part of the semi truck move, like turn, twist, and round, things like that. Like if they could have just like extended it outward so it has like a little joint and hinge to like move around. But other than that, this guy looks pretty cool. He does roll really nicely. I know I'm using him down like on top of these, on top of this right here. But let me show you how nice he rolls. Alright everybody, so as you can see right here, I do have this plastic, for my carpet. It's pretty big. I do use this plastic, only so I can, like test things on how it rolls because I do not have any tile in my house. But yeah, so let me roll. Start Optimus Prime into battle. Look, he sounds pretty nice and things like that. He rolls very nicely and things like that. Yeah, the cannons do have blast effects on them. You can add the blast effects on them. So yeah, it rolls very nicely. The treads, unfortunately, the treads do not move like the G1 or the Generation 1 toy. Because I remember the treads, the treads could move, like the actual treads could move. But they have wheels on the bottom, which is a little bummer. I'm taking a look at the bottom. He looks very clean, except for like a bit. This right here looks a little unclean. But yeah, other than that, they did a pretty good job on designing this. You can see the resemblance for the trailer, and then the front of the truck. And then this truck really looks funny to me, like the front of the truck, because the forehead, it doesn't look that bad, honestly, but it looks pretty good. And, you know, nice for rolling. And another thing that I want to show you is how good MT13 was rolling. There you go. So yeah, this new plastic thing that I have, I guess I'm gonna be using it for like future Transformers on how like good they roll and things like that. But yeah, taking out Hot Rod. He rolls pretty nicely, just kind of unstable. I mean, this truck right here is pretty big, so it has nice stability. But like, MT13 is kind of small. Hot Rod also rolls pretty nicely. So yeah, you can, of course, there is this one gimmick that is in the back of the trailer of the truck. You can open it, and you can store things inside there. Let's get Hot Rod in there. You can slide Hot Rod in there. Unfortunately, due to this the connection piece to add MT13 into there, and and this little square right here doesn't fit MT13. I mean, it's cool if you can have him like kind of get like acting like he's getting in there if he's like posing. But yeah, kind of doesn't really fit in there like that. So yeah, let's close this and just pull down the feet. So yeah, let me show you the accessories you can add onto this guy. So let's get these guys out of the way. So yeah, let's bring this over to let's bring our focus to this hole right here. What you want to do is you want to bring your gun, and then you want to bring your big blue blast effect, and just add it on there. And then what you want to do is you want to bring your jet fire blast effects. You want to add it onto the outer gun. Do the exact same for the other side. And then bam, you have them both. And then you can also go to this back, and there's this big hole right here. So you want to grab your turret, pull it back like this, and this hole will go into this one. And it's mainly specifically for this only type of hole and this type of peg that goes in there. But yeah, now that he has a turret in the back, it could be watching his back all the time. And you can bring out your blast effects, like so. Yes, or you could bring out your big Omega Supreme blast effects. I don't know if this type of turret would actually be able to handle that, but yeah. So yeah, it's a pretty cool, nice truck. It rolls really good. It rolls pretty good. and really well, things like that. So yeah, it looks the same thing on the other side, and yeah, there's not that much to talk about this besides how good it is and things like that. So yeah, let's move back to the studio and let's get into the transformation of the base mode. Alright everybody, and now that we're back at the studio, let's get into the transformation of the base mode. So what you want to do is you want to come to your Star Optimus Prime, you want to bring it around, and it's still heavy. You want to take off the treads connected. If you can, take them off connected. There we go. So yeah, you should look like this, and then what you want to put these to the side for a second. So then what you want to do is want to end up bringing him like this. You want to fold out the feet. For now, you want to fold them out the feet, and then what you want to do is you want to pull this outwards, and you want to pull this outwards, and then keep this little piece down here connected. Keep it connected. And yeah, so pretty much you just want to keep those connected. Without the little treads in the back, it's not as good to connect things because the connection isn't that great. And yeah, so let's oh, okay, well, anyways, sorry. I got distracted. So what you want to do is you want to end up bringing these outwards. There you go. Once those are outwards, what you want to do is you want to end up going more up, and then you want to come over here to this little piece of the trailer. Open it, lift it, add it in, close it, close this, and yeah. So basically, you're just transforming the top of the truck, except it's not all the same for the truck. But yeah, you want to end up flapping this back up or flipping this back up. And then what you want to do is once that's flipped back up, you want to end up having it like this. And then we can come over here and you can just move him forward like he's sitting. So yeah, let's take it down. So you want to have him looking like he is sitting in his transformation mode. And then what you're going to do, you want to come to the back of this and make sure that everything is still kind of kept connected. Whoops. Part of my studio came off. Let me just move this out of the camera. That doesn't belong. Wow. Wow, he actually still standing. Wow. I just threw it and then he just started standing. Okay, well, other than that, let's get back to the transformation. Just ignore how weird that was. So what I'm going to do is I want to come over here to this little blue piece right here. You want to pull it down, and it should act like a little support for this. And another piece of my studio fell. Let me just kind of put my studio back together because it's kind of falling. Alright, so I just finished raging my studio. A little technical difficulties in the background, but anyways, let's turn around the waist of it. And I like to open the skirt pleat a bit because... Oh wait, hold on. Sorry. It just, like, it's because there's this little joint right here that just, like, doesn't want to work with me. So yeah, I like to open the skirt pleat a bit because it doesn't always stay together. Due to it being, it's kind of just, like, stuck around it, but yeah. What you want to do is that after that's done, you want to pull down this, you want to pull down the other one in the back, and you want to do this, and you want to close it down on it, so it shouldn't like connect to anything, but it should just look like this. Do the exact same for the other side, and no, my earbuds are falling out. My microphone is falling out. And then what you want to do is you want to come over here, you want to fold out these, fold these down, you want to fold this outwards. And once that is folded out, what you want to do is you want to open the chest of it. You want to pull out the head of Star Optimus, and mine is getting stuck once again. So yeah, that's why you should have the horns sticking out a bit so they don't get caught in anything. There we go. I'm trying not to break it due to it being so expensive. Yeah, so then what you want to do is you want to pull it like this. You want to close the top of this, and when you close it, you want to push down a little bit on this so that it fits into there. But yeah, what you want to do is you want to pull the head down, like I showed you earlier about the articulation. And once you have that done, you can open the chest, and then you want to close these in, and then just add just back in, and then yeah. So basically you're just re-transforming the torso of the torso of Star Optimus. So yeah, it's basically just re-transforming him a bit. So yeah, what you want to do is you want to click it back into place, fold these up, fold up the arms, open this right here, open this right here, and then just fold this, the hand, and then just like kind of just fold it inwards. It's kind of complicated. I can't really explain it. Let me try to explain it. So I'm gonna push this forward. You want to end up swapping it around, and once kind of like in this position, you want to just like push it down a bit, and then once it's like kind of where it's supposed to be, you want to push it forward a bit, and then you can just start closing these hatches. Once those are closed, you can bring this down. You can bring the arms down. This arm will run into the skirt plate, so it won't be put into the place where it's originally supposed to be. But you can turn around the turrets now. Once everything is in the right position, what you want to do is you want to just grab this right here, and you want to flip this out. And you grab the treads, and flip these gray pieces out. And what you do is you want to end up folding this out. Oh no, my mistake. I'm gonna end up fold these out, and it should look like this. And then we'll pull it out. And then what you're gonna do is you want to fold the half of the tread out, and you can kind of see how it's actually turning a bit into a base. So yeah, it should look like the tread, and then you can kind of see that there's like a bit of a line. There you go. And then you can just pull it down. You can pull it downwards, and then you have the base mode into its operational form. Once that is done, you want to end up. You don't want to lift up the arm. You can if you want to, but it's not specifically listed in the instructions. But I'm just gonna open it because I need to show you guys. So yeah, as you can see right there, there's kind of a bit of a peg. I'm gonna point it out with a blast effect. Right there, there's a peg right there, and then there's also a hole in the tread, and you know what that means. That peg will go into the hole, and it will end up going. Once it's in that hole, you can just leave it there, and then you can just leave it like that, and then well, bam, you have sort of the base mode done. Before you get to anything else, now to make it an actual base, you want to make it a little more. You want to make it armed, a little more armed. So then you can bring the as I showed you before, how to transform it. Just add it into there, and then you can also move it around like this over here, as you can see right here. It doesn't move completely due to the hand being in the way, but it can just move pretty decently. What you want to do is you want to bring MT13. You just want to transform him into the base mode that he has. There you go. And there you go. Just want to transform him, and you don't want to bring this in. And then to add him onto the base mode, there's a hole right here that connects into that, and then this little peg will go will rest upon this, and then you can just close that onto here. Once that is done, you have the MT-13 in this base mode, and then you want to bring Hot Rod. You want to just transform him, just naturally just transform him. It's pretty simple to transform him. And yeah, so then once you have Hot Rod there, you want to end up bringing your gun. You want to add your gun on the side right here. And then you want to add the sword on this right here. Once the sword and the gun are in the right positions, you want to bring this blast effect. And you want to add it onto the hand right there. And just add it on there. And it's the Omega Supreme blast effect, by the way. And then once you have that done, now you have the base mode for Star Optimus. Now, taking a look at him, he looks pretty decent and pretty nice. And you can add blast effects. So if you want to add blast effects, here, it doesn't matter what blast effects you add. It just, these are the ones that's shown to me in the instructions. So yeah, you want to add the blue blast effect on the gun because of the energon bullet. And then you want to move, since there's a blast effect right there, you want to move MT-13's head. That can be moved on this side right here, right here. And it's a bit of a struggle, because there's only one piece connecting it. There you go, got it. Move it to the side right here. Grab a blast effect right here. Add it right there. And hold on, dang it. It's kind of hard because it's uneven because it's on top of something that's on top. It's this on top of carpet, and this is hanging off, and you can't properly position correctly. But yeah, you can have it facing upwards. So yeah, there's that blast effect. And then what you do is you want to come up to Star Optimus, and then you want to go to this to the right turret or his right. Add the small Omega Supreme blast effect, and you just want to add the Jetfire blast effect on the other turret. So yeah, there are the blast effects added onto there. You can also add Hot Rod on there. I only once got him on there, and that was like the only time I ever got him on there. But I'm gonna try to show you how I got him on there. So what you want to do is you want to bring out the feet, and then you want to bring the gun, the turret. You want to have his hands positioned so like he's holding the turret with his hands. And then you want to bring his feet. And make sure that his legs aren't just completely straight. You want to have the legs kind of like this. Once the legs are kind of like that, you want to end up bringing this. And then you want to end up closing this. So it should, once the feet are like this, you can't see this little peg. We'll try to trap. And then you just want to bring the feet and close it. And it kind of just like traps the pegs and allowing him to be there. And then if you can, just try to like add the hands onto there, like onto these things. Is this the most secure and functional base mode? No, it's not. It kind of feels like it's gonna fall apart if I just move it a bit. Like, honestly, if I just move this base mode a bit, I feel like it's just gonna fall apart. So, allow me to move the base mode to the plastic. Alright, everybody. So now that I moved it to the plastic thing, now that it's on one straight smooth tile, now it will stay together a bit better. But if I just move like the it's not the most secure base mode that it's been designed by Hasbro, so it's kind of a bummer because I know Omega Supreme's base mode's very Omega Supreme base mode is like very it's tight and locked in together. But unfortunately, this is not like that. But yeah, let me open the chest, because you can open the chest. You can open this right here to the side. You can either add the Zodiac, or you could add Hot Rod in the chest. And one thing that I think you could do is you could add Hot Rod in there, and then once Hot Rod is in there, Hot Rod can, well, once Hot Rod is added inside the chest, I think that he could be operating the arms, because why would you have arms moving, or just arms just being there holding weapons? So yeah, and I personally like the add the Zodiac, because that's like the safest place because to add the Zodiac, because the Zodiac is partially the main part. It's mainly the Transformer, but you also do need the Zodiac just in case. Once you collect all 13, then the Zodiac is kind of what is needed for the additional weapons or whatever Hasbro is making with the primes. So yeah, it's not the biggest beast mode, but you can just have your, average Transformers, Decepticons fighting pew 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 pew, and it's a nice base mode and things like that. But yeah, yeah. So I think that's the end for the video. So yeah, thank you all for watching this video, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye. Thank you all for watching my videos. Please like and subscribe.